You're listening to Dream Culture by Kevin McLeod of Incompetech.com. Hey guys, John03 here. Thanks for tuning in and welcome to another edition of Just Wondering, the solo podcast where I talk about pretty much anything there. Now, if you listened to my pilot episode, which was about 4 days ago from the day of this recording, it was a fairly serious show, lasted about 50 odd minutes, less than an hour there. Continuing with the pilot kind of style here, this episode's going to be different. We're going to be looking at just a half-hour episode at the very most. Don't want to go any longer than that, so we're just basically experimenting with different show lengths and content and stuff like that. Another thing to announce, very happy to say that I have purchased some new recording equipment, some new MP3 recorders and new clip-on mics, which are of a really good quality, so I'm hoping to be able to produce far better podcasts in the future, not just for this, which is essentially my therapy, but for Hashtag Shout, the weekly debate / discussion show hosted by myself and the Lone Walker 1. So, dear listeners, people who have tuned in to listen to what I've got to say, what we're going to talk about this week. Well, first of all, let me take a quick drink here. Much better. So, what are we going to talk about? Well, last week was, it was a weird one last week because my head was in a very, very bizarre place. By the way, pre-warning, a lot of squeaking here. My chair is like super, super squeaky. I also have a tendency to walk around and just carry the mic. So, not a lot I can do about that. Sorry about that. But last week was a bit odd because I didn't really know what it was I was going to talk about when I started. The idea was, okay, I have an hour, let's talk about whatever comes to my mind, and it actually was fairly helpful. I'm not sure how interesting it was to listen to, but it was certainly very helpful, and I am finding that being able to vent in the hope that someone is listening helps me to an extent. But last week we discussed things like friendship, ignorance, at what level is it okay not to know things, and the idea of not voting because of apathy, blah 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 blah. This week we're going to talk about something which has come up today. It's the idea of morale. What do you do when your morale is at an all-time low? It's not an easy question to answer. For us, what happened, well, I say for me, we were at work. The team was looking at our sales, and the past week they had tanked. Now, the department I work in generally deals with technical issues, but we have the opportunity to earn money based on the sales and, basic rates of revenue. And we had tanked compared to what we normally do. Now this week, out of nowhere, we've jumped back up. We've been destroying the fucking sales. And we don't really have an explanation as to why, but one thing that kept coming up, one thing that we could all agree on, was that the team morale had been at an all-time low. We have several members of staff off for various reasons. 2 members of staff who've got some serious medical issues that of course we worry about and we miss, and we'll look forward to having them both back very soon. We haven't had our usual team outing. I kind of feel responsible for that because I've kind of positioned myself as the guy who's in charge of that, and I think people, certainly my team leader, looks to me to handle that. Excuse me a moment. Sometimes there'll be a rather abnormal pause in the sound or break of the sound. That's me blowing or basically blowing my nose there. Yeah, but what was it? Yes. So morale's been at an all-time low, and one of our authority figures asked us, okay, well, what do you need to do to improve morale? And the honest truth is, we didn't know. I mean, we didn't really know what to do. As a team, we had no idea how to fix morale. We threw some suggestions into the pot, but we didn't really know, and when I think about it, I tend to find that I'm like that on a near constant basis. How do you improve morale? How do you pick yourself up when you're down? It's a hard one to call, that one. It's a difficult question to answer, and I'm wondering if there is a really, really good answer, whether or not it's an individual one, for depending on the circumstances or depending on who you are. And I was thinking about it on the bus today when I was heading home. At the moment, I'm doing a positivity challenge style thing, where basically I'm challenging myself to think more positively, to try and see things in a more positive light, to be confident in who I am and proud, and sorry, I'm being completely unprofessional by throwing shit all over the place while I'm talking, but basically trying to think more positively, trying to think about the good things, about how great things are going and where I'm improving. Now, the source of my low morale can be attributed to a number of factors, namely my bipolarism. Being bipolar, naturally, I mean I'm having a high or I'm having a low, and there's very little grey in between. But something which is interesting to me is the fact that I'm wondering if that's all there is to it. If it is a case of, sometimes I'm high, sometimes I'm low, that's just the way it is. Or if rather, that's just how I see things. Is that just the simplified version? I mean, let's face it, there's a lot of things that get me down. My weight is a huge thing at the moment. I can't begin to describe how much of a hassle the whole weight thing is. I mean, what I'm trying to accomplish is to be fitter, to get into a better shape, and yet I'm completely being counterproductive. Some days I will be super good, not have anything bad, be more active, but yet other days I'll go the completely wrong direction and I'll pick out whatever. Some days I'm super enthusiastic, and then some days I'm just self-defeating. I feel like I don't have the drive to be healthy. Now, before anybody says, no, I'm not saying that this is a reason why I shouldn't be healthy. What I'm saying is, this is something that I have to beat. This is a frame of mind I have to get out of. But how? The less and less I do to be moving in the right direction, to get a better level of fitness, the worse it becomes and the lower my morale becomes. That's the major issue. The fact is that, no matter what I'm doing, if I can't be consistent with it, I'm not going to accomplish anything. Now, there's a few things I could do. I could do a complete ban of all sugary drinks and carbonated drinks and all sweets and crisps, whatever. I could do that. But how do I keep the discipline? And that seems to be where it's at. Discipline. And discipline is intrinsically tied to morale. If I'm feeling like absolute crap, if I'm feeling so low, then discipline becomes non-existent. Because at that point, I'm doing whatever I can to just not jump out of a fucking window, so I'll turn to whatever. When I'm in a great mood, discipline's easy. Because it's like, okay, yeah, sure, I'll go without this, I'll go without that, that's fine. It's frustrating as hell. And as for exercise, well, that's a completely different kettle of fish. We have a home gym, but it's not super amazing. It's not like super workable. There's not a lot of room. So the next step would be to use a public gym. But the problem is, using a public gym, it's like, when I used to go to the gym, I used to get so much shit from people when there, because you got trainers who are absolutely desperate to get your business, that they just fucking hound and gather around you, like fucking vultures. Sorry, that word was vultures. They're just, throwing compliments at you and then talking about price plans. Or worse, which was more so in my case, was people who were going there for a while who just come and terrorize you. You're there trying to lose weight, and they're there to essentially compare dick sizes, even though they've got the tiniest dicks in the world, so they make up for it with their fucking steroid arms. It's absolutely ridiculous. So, and already having social issues, already having social anxiety and essentially being terrified of people, going to a public gym is really, really difficult for me. I don't have the same drive that I used to have. I certainly don't have the same backup that I used to have. I used to go with my cousin Akeem, who was the best training partner ever. He was just fantastic, he knew how to motivate me and push me. So now, as a 28-year-old, desperately trying to be an adult, I'm just finding myself completely lost. Now, I started having a breakthrough with DDP Yoga. DDP Yoga is a fantastic approach to yoga, and it really does work. Through DDP Yoga, I've been able to be relatively pain-free with my back. And I was starting to lose a lot of weight as well, but fuck man, just my brain. I hate my brain. My brain just gets in the way of everything. It is bipolar, this IED, it is a constant nightmare for me. I'm desperately trying to break this. I'm not after a six-pack and, a beach body or anything like that. I just want to be able to walk into a shop and buy a pair of jeans with as little issue as possible, I feel like an absolute freak, putting it bluntly. And, it needs to change. But morale is so fucking low. And I'm caught in this trap where I can't accept compliments because I'm assuming that compliments are bullshit. Somebody says something like, "Oh, you look good today," my first reaction is, "Fuck off, don't you patronise me." And then if somebody says, oh, you look like fat fuck, and I'm like, yeah, you're right. And it's just fucking so self-defeating. How do you combat that? How do you combat that level of low morale and self-loathing? I don't know. Should I just pay the extortionate fees, join the gym, and just try to put the world aside, even though I have a crippling... I can't walk out the house unless I'm wearing a jeans and a full-length t-shirt, or if I'm wearing a suit. And even these days I won't wear a suit because I don't like the idea of my belly hanging over my belt or anything like that, which I'm convinced I look like. I hate myself to look, the way I look so much. I don't know how many people out there know what it's like, but it's such a horrible thing. And the problem is, nobody else did it to me except me. So whether I like it or not, it's my fault. So how do you overcome that? How do you push through it? I don't know. And that is my point. That's my question. How do you improve morale when it is at an all-time low? I live in a town where if I want to go jogging, I better be wearing a bulletproof vest. Or a stab-proof vest. I live in a town where if I walk out dressed for the gym, I'm probably going to be ridiculed. You know what I mean? I have such a crippling self-loathing that it takes all the effort in the world to leave the house in the morning to go to my job. It's just... I don't know how people aren't terrified of people. Seems utterly bizarre to me. How could people not be terrified of people? You bastards. How do you do it? I don't know. But that's morale for you. Low morale is a killer. It kills ambition, it kills drive, and it kills productivity. The thing is, trying to improve morale for the team seems like an easier time than trying to improve morale for myself. With a team, there's a lot more to work with, but what I've got to work with when it comes to myself, I feel completely alone. Now, I have a loving fiance and a couple of decent friends. Don't really have many friends these days. But what do I ask of them? What do I say? What is it I want them to do? Which is another thing that I brought up with a friend of mine, which is, it's all well and good people saying, I'm here if you need help. But what do you want them to actually do to help you? It's a really, 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 really tough thing to try and deal with. Admittedly, I'm not handling it well. Things need to change. Otherwise, things need to change. So how do I do it? How do I keep going? How do I keep at it? Slimming World of Weight Watchers are scams. Bottom line. They're absolute scams. But I think what people pay for isn't for the Weight Watcher guides and the Slimming World weekly meetings. I think what people are paying for is accountability. The idea of, I'm going to be held accountable to these people. Maybe that's what it is. maybe what you're fearing is accountability. Accountability doesn't seem to bother me too much. I let everything kind of prevent me from doing things I want to do. I let my social anxiety, that's the worst thing. My social anxiety is I don't feel like I'm part of a team. I don't feel like I'm part of a friendship group. I constantly feel like I'm the visitor, you know? I'm the tourist to my own life. How do you break that? I mean, I know not many people listen to this, but if anyone's listening that has an idea, hey, shoot it my way. I'd be glad to hear it. Oh, how does one keep morale up? It's a really, really tough question, and obviously everyone's going to have their own answers, but I'm struggling to find an answer. An answer? An answer. So yeah, I'm struggling to find grammar as well. Dear listeners, but that's what I do this podcast for. It's a venting station. It's a therapeutic time for me to just say what's on my mind so I can have it as my own soundboard. It's a difficult subject to kind of contemplate. How to improve one's own morale. Who knows? Maybe I'll find out somewhere along the way. You know, when I decided to do a solo podcast, I didn't really know what to expect. Didn't really know what I was after. But I have to admit, I am glad that I'm doing it. It gives me a chance to verbalize and get my opinion out there. Truth is, sometimes we just need to feel like we're being listened to. Sometimes we just need to be able to hear ourselves to act like a soundboard, because we don't really talk about these problems with anybody else. You know, I'm hoping that in future episodes we can talk about more lighthearted things. You know, joke and laugh around, but at the moment, it's my little therapy session. It's my little way of getting thoughts out of my head and into English, so we can kind of dissect them and shift through the bullshit and get to an answer to the things which bother me. And like I said, any advice that you guys have, of course, would be much appreciated. That's just the way it is. But you know what? I think we'll leave it there for the evening. Like I said, a little under half an hour there. But I wonder what you guys think. Did the lower time improve the show there? Would you have preferred a longer episode, or do you prefer the shorter ones? And yeah, if there's anything else you can suggest to improve the show there, just let me know. But I'm going to leave you with Dream Culture by Ken McLeod once again, over at Compotech.com. Don't forget to check out my other pages at youtube.com/DJRoger13 and soundcloud.com/DJRoger13, and my other links, which you can find in the description of the video, or if you're watching on Tumblr or something like that, it'll be in the blog bit. So thanks very much for listening. I'm DJRoger13.